After the overwhelmingly positive response I received on yesterday's technical analysis video where we looked at SHIB, I'm going to turn this into a series where we look at SHIB Coin on a regular basis, perform some technical analysis and make some predictions to see where the price can go. Let's get into it. How's it going, guys? Ryan here and welcome back to another crypto video, and once again we are looking at SHIB, and as I said, welcome to a brand new series where we'll be doing technical analysis on the coin. But before we get into that, guys, please remember to give the video a thumbs up. It helps me out so much with the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe for more of this sort of content as well as other crypto investing, stock market and wealth management tips and tricks if that interests you. I'd also love to know down in the comments section below what other coins you would like me to look at in the future. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. We had a massive influx of new subscribers yesterday, so I just want to say welcome to the channel. I hope you do find some value of it. Let's now take a look at the SHIB price and the various charts that we need to analyze in order to determine where the price can go and review what has happened over the past 24 hours to see where our last prediction landed. So it's the 19th of May here in Australia at 3:30 p.m. and this is the SHIB chart at its current point in time. Now, when we were looking at it yesterday, we were looking from a 5-minute perspective all the way over here, and what we thought was forming was a cup and handle pattern, and in fact it did, but unfortunately it broke in the wrong direction. So you can see we had our cup here, we had our handle forming down here, and it looked actually pretty positive at the time, and it went through that point, which meant it should effectively have gone up. But unfortunately something happened, and it's not related directly to SHIB. In fact, Bitcoin actually took an insane hit, and as a result all of the cryptos actually copped it. This resulted in this particular dip all the way over here, and you can see that the price of SHIB has unfortunately dropped from its levels sitting at 22 down to 17. Now, I'd just like to point out I will always provide an unbiased view on SHIB when we're doing technical analysis. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, my whole intention is to inform you guys and help you guys. So here, obviously, yes, it was looking pretty positive. There was consolidation, but unfortunately, due to other factors, we have seen that the key area, which was about here, has faltered due to the fact of the Bitcoin news. We can see that we had decent support in this range. It broke through right here, then fell down and kept falling, unfortunately. And you can see this area was the key point where we had lots of price action which had occurred in the past. It's dropped through that and it's continued to fall, as you'd expect once support has been broken. It's unfortunate, but it's just the way it is, and as I mentioned, this isn't necessarily because of SHIB itself. There's a lot going on in the crypto world at the moment which is causing these sort of issues, but hopefully we will see these recover in time. Now, one thing from a TA perspective that we have going for us on the SHIB chart is the following, and I'm just going to quickly delete these right here so we can have a clean chart. And I'm going to go back as well to the hourly perspective, zoom back in, and there we go. Now, as I mentioned before, we were talking about reversal patterns. The cup and handle, which was about at this point here, was a reversal pattern, and it's a bit harder to see obviously on the hourly chart, but it was located right here, and this is where it failed. Now, what we actually do have from a longer term perspective is a potential, and I emphasize potential because it hasn't happened yet, a potential double bottom. So we've got a bottom here, and we've got, as you can see, the price action occurring in this region here as well. Now, if this is a true double bottom, we should see effectively the price go in this direction and bounce. If this falters, that is not good, because SHIB is unfortunately then going to a region which it hasn't gone before. As you can see, obviously, yes, it's relatively new, but the price action hasn't occurred. So hopefully we'll see at this point, we've got our dip here, it's going to happen again, a double bottom, and then the price reverses. But obviously that is dictated by the next few hours, and we're going to see that happen on the chart. And hopefully overnight or tomorrow, the crypto market picks up a bit, and effectively that will help drive the price upwards. Now, let's say theoretically, if this were to unfortunately fail, where could we head? Well, I'd say the likely point we'd head for immediately is probably the 15 mark. And the reason I say the 15 mark is it's a psychological number. People like to think about trading and investing and prices in what they put in their head as a logical, a round number sort of way. So I'd say 15 is probably the first logical point it could drop to if it broke through that support point, then likely go down to 10. As you can see, when we have been moving previously, it's been from around, 20, move it up 25, move it up to 30. That's because that is how people think. It's a psychological thing. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Now, if we have the double bottom scenario where the price effectively increases, what could we see then? Well, this is where things get exciting, and fingers crossed this does happen, but we are going to see once again this 22 range be tested, because what happens is when you have a point of support that is broken, that then becomes the new resistance. So basically this point, as you can see, that's the big candle where it dipped and where it broke. It went down, unfortunately broke through, and it's hit this next mark, which is where the last price action was. So in theory, what we could see happen is the price is going to increase and then test this point once again. And a few things could occur. So one, it could break through the top and keep going. That's the best case scenario. The next scenario is it could start tracking sideways. So what that means is you'll have this up, but instead of it going up here, it will instead bounce and go down. And basically that would mean that we've got a trading channel which is focusing in this region, and we're going to see up, down. And if it bounces then off that point, that is what you call a triple bottom, and that would be obviously fantastic, and we'd once again bounce directly up. Don't mind my drawing skills, they're not exactly the best, but you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. Worst case scenario for us, as I've mentioned, is it breaks through this and we are heading downwards, and that is not good. Obviously we do not want that, but it does provide obviously an opportunity for people who aren't invested in SHIB to invest at a relatively cheap price. So keep that in the back of your mind. Obviously this chart is very young, and that effectively means that it's hard for us to make some relatively accurate predictions because we don't really have a baseline to start off with. Because it's such a new coin, we're dealing with such a small amount of data, such a small amount of price action, that it's significantly harder to make informed decisions. But we can use what we can to try help and predict various scenarios. Obviously the way TA works, technical analysis, you can interpret it in many different ways, and obviously people are going to tend to be more biased to what they want. Obviously I'd love the price to go up, but I want to show you all the different scenarios that could impact us now, and I'm only going to use very basic methods of TA. So you can see the clear resistance and support points, the price action, the channels, some patterns and that sort of thing. I'm not going to take into consideration things like Fibonacci rules and all those sort of things, or the Elliott wave is another one people like to use. I'm going to use the absolute basics because in my opinion, if you want to learn TA, these are the fundamental factors you need to know. So I hope this little analysis here for the day has helped you and has helped clear up where it's going to end up potentially, whether it be up, sideways or down. Obviously we've got various scenarios. The most likely scenario, if we purely look at TA, is it's going to bounce up and test this point once again here. But obviously on the back of poor crypto news across the entire crypto market, Bitcoin, Ethereum, you name it, if it goes down, that is going to result in this being tested here once again, and hopefully, fingers crossed it doesn't break, but it is a possibility. I hope you enjoyed today's video. As I said, obviously I want the price to go up. I'd love the price to go up, but I'm going to show you every single scenario that we could potentially encounter. I want this to be as unbiased a series as possible because I want to help you guys make more informed decisions. Obviously, do your own research into SHIB, but this may potentially help you make a decision, and if it does, I'm happy that it has helped. I'd love to know down in the comments section below if you'd like me to perform this sort of analysis on any other coins or tokens, and if you are, what ones would they be? If you enjoyed today's video, please remember to give it a thumbs up as it helps me out so much with the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe for more of this sort of content. As I mentioned, we cover crypto, the stock market, investing in general, and wealth management. If that's the sort of thing you're into, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell so you're notified as soon as new videos are released. And with that guys, I hope you have an awesome day. I'll see you next time. Cheers.